So this is the very next play from the offense in the spring game. And once again, we're in a spread look. We've got 4 vertical threats with one of the receivers motioning across the formation to take us from a 3-by-1 look to a 2-by-2 look. This time from the defense, what we're getting a little bit of a different look. We're getting a press look from the corner on this side. And then we're getting a soft cushion here, which could mean either we're in zone coverage over here or we're in a soft man concept. Still have 2 deep safeties. So initially our read of the defense is most likely we're in some sort of cover 2. So let's kind of take a look as we complete this motion and see what happens. Okay, so a couple things happen there. One is that we see an adjustment from the middle linebacker. So as this player motioned across, then the responsibilities shifted a little bit. If you look on this side of the ball now, what you've got is this corner is responsible for number 1. This linebacker is responsible for number 2. And the middle linebacker is going to be responsible for number 3 on this side. We know that we have the responsibility here for number 1. Now the question is, who's responsible for number 2? Now initially, you see this shift from the safety that suggests, okay, he's responsible for number 2. But we'll have to wait post-snap to see how that actually plays out. Most likely what the quarterback's thinking here is, okay, he's responsible for vertical from number 2, but this is my flat defender. And so what we have developing, well, let's just kind of watch the play. We'll come back and talk about it a little bit more. So we see Gilbert again taking a 3-step drop. He looks short side and then he comes back to the middle to an open slot receiver. So let's take it back and understand that a little bit better, what happened, what developed. So the routes that are developing here is, on the outside here, we're getting an outside release vertical route from the number 1 receiver on this side. We're getting a flat route from this inside receiver. Getting a vertical route on this side from the number 1 receiver. And we're getting this post route that's developing from the slot. Finally, we're getting a flat release from the running back, sort of a swing route. So as this play develops, one of the interesting things is we've got sort of a press coverage here. And then on the back side, what's happening is, even though we showed what looked like a 2-deep coverage, we're actually in a cover 3 again. This corner is releasing here. It's a cover 3 cloud. So we've got a corner responsible for 1 deep third, and these safeties are going to shift. This safety is responsible for this deep third, and this safety is responsible for this deep third. So Gilbert initially, if this had been a cover 2, then what he's looking for is, do I have this pocket available to me that would develop in a cover 2 zone, which is this corner is going to press this route initially, but then he's responsible for the flat. If that's the case, then he wants to hit this outside developing route sort of in that pocket between the deep safety and the corner. So that's what he's looking for initially. Let's kind of take him to that point. So he looked and saw, okay, that's not developing. What I have is this corner is staying on my receiver, and this flat route has potential. But the design of this play, the read, is to look for that outside pocket first if it's cover 2, and then to come back to the middle. So the reason why these routes developed the way they did is that this outside release and this flat combined to do a couple things for the offense. What they're designed to do, this outside release, is designed to pull the deep coverage on that side of the field, further outside, to pressure them vertically. The flat release is designed to pressure this flat defender and pull him outside. By Gilbert looking to this side first, it's really going to pull those defenders even further outside. Now on the back side of this play, which is the wide side of the field here, what we had developed was we had this vertical from this receiver. Now it's going to occupy this deep coverage. And then you've got these two underneath defenders here. Now this defender was initially responsible for the post route that developed, the vertical part of that. So he's reading that initial part of the route and he's looking for a hot route. And he would be responsible for a hot route from that receiver. But once that receiver breaks inside, he's no longer responsible for him. Now vice versa, this middle linebacker was responsible for the running back initially on a hot route. So he kind of is mirroring that running back. Now if the running back had stayed in protection, then he's reading the quarterback purely and looking for plays to the middle. Now as it is, what should happen now is sort of a transfer of responsibilities. Once the stem occurs, and this receiver is coming inside, and this receiver is going outside, this defender is now responsible for this flat pressure, and this defender is responsible for the middle pressure. But his initial influence took him outside, and with this flat defender over here getting pulled outside, we've now created a nice big gap for us to throw that post pattern to. And that's exactly what happened. We created a nice big gap here, and then we threw to it. So this progression happened just the way that it's been coached. And you see a receiver catching the ball in the middle of the field, a lot of space. That's exactly what we want to produce in this offense. Obviously, we have a lot of athleticism at the wide receiver position. If we can get those balls in the middle of the field, that's going to do good things for the offense. In this play, Gilbert's body language really worked for him. The fact that he was able to look to that first read, and that drew the defense to the short side of the field, and then throw back to the middle. That's a huge asset for this offense if we can get that sort of progression regularly.